Hi, I'm Matthew from HDM Solar. I'm here today with Darren from Eco-ESS and brought us a few products to have a look at. Just tell us a bit about yourself.
All right, well, hi, I'm Darren. I'm the MD of Eco-ESS. Eco-ESS started in December 2022. We're based in Derby and we have a factory in Stoke-on-Trent where we build many of these products.
Excellent. And you are totally UK based, is that right?
We are indeed. So we build most of the products in the UK, or if we don't build, we assemble QC in the UK, and we do have UK tech and engineer support. So any issues, you phone through straight away.
We're going to go through a few of your product range, if that's all right today. Mostly starting with the this lovely little ATS Pro that you brought along. This item, I believe, is like a gateway, but better.
Absolutely, it's better. What we've got here is a 100 amp ATS, so that allows full operation during grid. We've got two versions of this, one with a 40 amp backup and one with a 60 amp backup, so you can go up to 14.5 kilowatt in backup mode. As you can see, it's a IP65 enclosure. It's the Pro version. So what we're actually doing is we're using ABB switchgear.
Very good.
That allows the system to switch into islanding mode within 8 milliseconds. So because that's below 20 milliseconds threshold with the frequency of the grid, you don't get any interruptions during switchover.
So everything will be just seamless. Everything plugged into your house will have no idea anything's ever happened.
You don't lose the clocks on your oven or your microwave. You don't. The router doesn't drop out. So you're not. If you're in the middle of a Teams call, you're not going to lose anything.
And rated that highly, so that, you know, you say going up to 14 kilowatts, that's bigger than most people's inverters at home.
Absolutely.
And that would give them what would feel like a full home load as if nothing's ever happened.
As long as you've got the inverter output on EPS, it will cover the whole home.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of the inverters are the 5-6 kilowatt, which it's going to be difficult to cover all of the household appliances, especially if you're using electric showers, for example. But if you are one of the people that do like multiple inverters and getting up to the higher ends on output, this will cover it.
Excellent. Am I right to believe this, with it being the Pro version, this also has a couple of other extra features like voltage monitoring to protect against brownouts?
Yeah, what a lot of people aren't aware of is that power cuts are one thing, but that's a clean like drop out, so it will switch over. Where people don't realize what's damaging their appliances is when you get voltage spikes, voltage drops, brownouts, for example. So what we've got in here is a voltage monitoring relay that the installer sets the upper and lower parameters, and if the voltage range goes outside of those predetermined parameters, it will switch into islanding mode as well.
Okay, so the installer can actually set what they deem is to be above and below a minimum and maximum value for where they are, because I assume where some people live, it could be quite low naturally and it could also be quite high naturally. So they can move that so it's just sort of 5-10% from their norm for whatever they are.
Indeed, that's why we've done it, to allow the installer to set that rather than us set it in the factory, and everything has to work to that. It's more about giving more options to the homeowner.
Wow, that's impressive. And you say this whole brownout, you know, it can be very damaging to a lot of sensitive electronics in the home without you even realizing, cutting the lifespan short.
Yeah, that's it. It's the silent killer, if you like. So power cuts are fine. They just switch off the power, as we said. When you keep getting voltage fluctuations, a voltage spike doesn't really do the inverter, the heat pump inverters any good, or even inverters or just household appliances. But then when you get a voltage drop, what's happening is the voltage is dropping, so the current is increasing. So more heat and additional costs to run those plants.
Yeah, so anything with a small transformer in it is going to have a shortened life.
Absolutely.
Well, so my understanding with this Pro version, it also comes with a Shelly device fitted. Can you just explain to me what the Shelly device is?
Yeah, a Shelly device, it's a Wi-Fi connected device, so it makes this unit a smart unit. So instead of having an audible or a visual notification when you switch over into islanding mode, it simply sends a notification to your phone. So push notification. What it also allows you to do is to switch into islanding mode when you want to. So if you want to be off-grid, if you've got enough power in the batteries, yeah, the panels are generating, then you can just go off-grid at will.
So if you was work down the line, planned works, you got a letter through the door, and you know you're going to have issues, you can just sort of say, right, they can do them and you can do you, and
that's it. You can actually schedule when you want the island in mode to begin.
Yeah. So the whole home backup that this can provide, this is based on the inverter connected to it. So the inverter thinks nothing's happened. It can still generate from the sun.
Yeah.
And to its full EPS output, this will provide power to the home.
Yeah. This is designed to manage 14.5 kilowatt in backup mode. The weak link is the inverter. So we call this whole home backup, and it sits upstream of the main consumer unit. So all of the circuits are backed up. And we can provide whole home backup. Not many homes require more than 14.5 kilowatt. As I say,
it'd be a big home, wouldn't it?
It really would. It really would. But the weak link, as I say, is the inverter, because this is governed by the output of the EPS output of the inverter.
Okay. So my understanding is, though, it's actually really quite simple to connect as well. There's not too much. You've done the hard work inside the box. There's
absolutely
the connections are quite simple. Just 4?
Yeah, 4 connections. So you've got tails from the meter into breaker number 1. Breaker number 2 are tails from that breaker to the main consumer unit. Breaker number 3 is a cable from breaker number 3 to the load port on the inverter. And then the EPS output from the inverter comes back to breaker 4. Obviously, with this, you're taking the house off grid, so you need to provide a standalone earth. So you run an earth cable, put in an earth electrode. Obviously, the installer does that, and that means that when you're taking the house completely off the grid, you've still got an earthing.
Wow, it's impressive.
Look, yeah.
And here we have another product from Eco-ESS. This is the DC isolator with built-in surge protection. Is that right?
That's correct. So we've got an IP65 enclosure here that you open up, and you will see you've got 2 independent DC isolators and 2 independent surge protection devices.
Okay, and you do this as a single and a triple string as well.
We do.
You can make huge
Yeah,
concoctions of this.
standard domestic units are single, dual, and 3-way. But for commercial projects, we can increase the isolators up to 1,000 volts. And the biggest one we've done to date has been a 14-way unit. Wow, for a commercial project.
That's a big factory going on.
It is.
So it's looked like it's a really simple de-skilling kind of project here. It's so simple. There's just MC4 connectors in and out.
That's it. That's why we've designed this. What normally happens when you've got DC isolation and surge protection is each isolator you need to drill 4 times. Then obviously you've got your glands, and then you have to terminate 4 cables into the isolator. So you've got 2 isolators if you've got a dual string project, and then 2 separate enclosures for your surge protection for each one. So in total you've got 4 units. What we've
all drilled 4 times, all wired, all cut. That's a lot of work, isn't it?
Hell of a lot of work.
As if these 4 screws and walk away almost.
That's it. We've done all the work here in the factory. So everything's been wired up, as you say. You literally bolt this to the wall, crimp on your MC4 connectors onto your DC cables, and pop the MC4s on. As simple as you can get.
So it's all pre-torqued at the factory. Everything's as safe as it possibly can be.
Absolutely.
The only thing left is, as you say, the number of connectors on the bottom. That's it.
That's it. This is designed to make life easier and safer, I guess, for installers. As we know, poor termination, poor workmanship is one of the biggest issues when it comes to DC isolation. So we're doing all the hard work in the factory, so the installers don't have to do that on site.
I mean, I know it's currently not. I don't believe it's commonplace for people to put surge protection on the DC strings on a domestic install. Is it?
If you've got surge protection on your AC side, regulations state that you should have surge protection on your DC side. Now, a lot of inverters come with this, but I always believe you're better to have a independent form of isolation and surge protection.
And this will protect your inverter and everything else connected to it. I mean, that's a lot of money's worth of equipment.
It is for very
little
cost.
It's a complete no-brainer. I think this is a very simple, and it takes up us a lot less space than 4 separate units.
It does.
It's all in one box.
Let's be honest, it looks a lot better as well. If you put that up next to an inverter, it looks a lot better than having four boxes all there with the trunking and
all with the switches, all with the flaps, and just it's a bit of a mess. And then, as you say, glands out the bottom, wires sort of just looking really untidy, whereas that's so simple.
Everything's already been done for you.
And we've got the Combined Renewables Distribution Board. This is a multi-way board for when you've got a heat pump, EV charger, and your inverter, your PV supply. Is that right?
Indeed. Yeah. So what we've done is we've created an IP66 enclosure. Nice color as well.
Yeah.
So we've got your 100 amp main switch in here. You've got your surge protection with your MCB for your overcurrent protection. We've left a space on the DIN rail, so if you've got a manufacturer's...
the DIN rail mounted generation meters, yeah.
That can fit in there as well. And then you've got your RCBOs for the EV, PV, and your heat pump, including some spare ways here that we can use for thermal separation.
Is thermal separation can it be quite a problem when you've got so much power in a little board there?
It's more of a bells and braces approach. Obviously, RCBOs under high load can get warm.
Right.
We want to separate that thermal loading.
So it's to reduce a potential risk that could happen. It's
indeed. It's the same as anything with regulations. It's not always that it's going to happen, but you need to evaluate and consider worst case scenario.
So this would be quite a simple thing. So you'd have this, for the most part, you'd have this mounted outside because that's where these items are going to be.
Yeah. And what we've done with that's quite important here. If you're going to have it outside, this is lockable.
Yeah. You can open this island. Can't get into your board and turn off your PV or your heat pump. Yeah, I'm going to say I suppose a lot of that depends on where you live, but there we go. It's a nice feature to have than not.
Yes. Yep.
There's a lot of knockouts on the side, so you've got plenty of chances of getting it installed quite nicely.
Yeah, you can see it's quite large as well. So if you're going to go with some meaty cables, got no issues with these.
Yeah, I say it's quite a very smart, tidy looking box to have outside.
It is. Yeah, and we do a smaller version of this. So we do a 5-way unit. So if you're only installing a heat pump or only an EV or a PV system, and you only need a smaller box, we can offer that as well.
All right. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All these products are available on our website, hdmsolar.co.uk, including the IP-rated, fire-rated cabinet for mounting batteries and inverters outside. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.